Houston. You can see we are on location. There are long lines to vote in this eastern part of the city of Houston. Got a sample ballot here. Dan Crenshaw, first one on there. Lizzie Fletcher. Those are the incumbents. We are told it's been smooth sailing here. There have been some tech issues at some of the polling places. We're told not here. I'm going to ask some of the voters why they are out here to vote today. Sir, what brings you out?
To use my right to vote.
What changes would you like to see?
I didn't like the change in Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade. I didn't like
change Roe versus Wade.
back. I didn't like that change.
That's the biggest thing for you.
Yeah, that's up to the individual.
Do you have any favorite candidates?
I like them all, but I'm only gonna vote for certain ones.
Certain ones?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out to participate in civic duty. What about you, sir? How are you? You don't want to talk? Okay. What about you? What brings you out to vote?
You know, just my right to vote.
Any changes you'd like to see?
Like the gentleman said, Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade is your big thing? Roe versus Wade, a big thing here in Houston. What about you, ma'am? No? No? They don't want to talk? Okay, we got some people over here who did want to show. You can see the line is going almost out the door. We saw some poll workers bring in part of a Hart Intercivic voting machine. See right there. We are told that everything is good to go. You can see them working on part of that.
You can't videotape.
You can't
You have to be
video
outside.
that? Oh, okay.
You have to be outside the building. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did not realize. Okay.
I wasn't sure, so I went and checked with the boss.
All right, so we're going to go see if some voters outside wanted. I don't know if that's true.
Okay, so this one is not going to be within network.
What brings you guys out to vote today?
I'm sorry, not.
Oh, we're not
doing
doing an interview, not
Oh,
this
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Alrighty. So here we are at the busiest voting place in Houston. I just wanted to show what it's looking like in my neck of the woods since I live in Houston, Texas, biggest city in Texas. And you could hear just from the voters we spoke with briefly that Roe v. Wade is their big thing. I know a lot of voters across the nation are concerned about their pocketbooks right now, inflation, the economy, gas prices, but these guys, they care about a woman's right to abortion. You can see they are saying that voting is going just fine here now. There were some voting issues here in Houston, in Harris County earlier this morning. Some of the machines that are used to check people in were malfunctioning in the northern parts of the city, and that caused delays, but those were fixed after about an hour. Witnesses I spoke to who were there when it happened speculated on whether the poll workers actually checked the machines the night before. You're supposed to check the machines, make sure they work the night before, but interestingly, I haven't seen those tech issues in the news coverage. Bloomberg covered tech issues across the nation in regards to machines, and they did not mention Houston. They did talk about the suburbs of Houston where many of the check-in machines, the laptops used to check people in, were not working. Of course, Arizona is the big headline today, and I've conducted a couple of interviews with people who witnessed the fiasco in Arizona, filmed some key video there, and I'm putting that on my Rumble because YouTube would delete that sort of thing. So go check my Rumble, you guys. One of the interviews is already up in regards to what the heck just went down in Arizona and is still going down in Arizona. Reports that 20% of the polling places weren't working at all. New Jersey is another huge place where there were major issues. Now, both Arizona and New Jersey use the machine company that shall not be named here on YouTube, the D Machine Company, and staffers from that company had to come out and sort out what was happening, bring the machines back online, as the election staff said. So it was, Bloomberg reported that it was 600 machines in New Jersey that went down today. It was really interesting reading the Bloomberg article earlier today. The headline said that the D machine company goes down in Arizona and New Jersey. I mean, it was a really blunt headline that this company is having issues with its machines again. And I was like, wow, Bloomberg, you're just being straightforward instead of conniving with your narratives. Well, what do you know? Like, a few hours later, the headline of the Bloomberg article gets totally changed. And now the headline says something like, election deniers continue to spin bogus stories related to Arizona. So the narrative from Bloomberg totally adjusted to the mainstream media narrative, but initially the reporter who wrote that was straightforward, that there are major glitches in Arizona and New Jersey right now, and it's all in regards to that one questionable machine company. Now, interestingly, Bloomberg interviewed an official from the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure for Security Agency, a federal agency that investigates these sort of tech issues. And that official said it's really normal to have a few glitches across the country when we're talking about, 10,000 precincts across the country, whatever. Bloomberg did not include the fact that the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency just this year completed an expansive investigation of the D machine company and found that it does indeed have major problems with security, and that same company raised the alarm to precincts across the nation, saying, if you're really going to stick with this questionable company, you guys need to be aware of these flaws. Now, you can go Google these headlines, maybe try DuckDuckGo instead, but Associated Press did great coverage of what this federal agency found in regards to these machine companies, which are once again having major issues. Now, there's this big question about Box 3. This morning, a man in Arizona named Basil went to vote at 6 a.m. and he was stunned that already at that hour they were having issues with the machines not working, and he filmed the work at that polling location, saying that you have an option of sticking your ballot in Box 3, where it will eventually be tabulated. So then this conspiracy theory started to foment about what is Box 3. Will this ever be counted? Apparently Carrie Lake said, you're looking at weeks for your ballot to be counted if it's put in there. Fox News corrected her. Corrected her. Who knows what the truth is, but Fox News jumped on the air and said, Carrie Lake was wrong. That's false. It's not going to take weeks. As I'm watching this all play out in the mainstream media. So, but bottom line, I interviewed Basil, the man who filmed that original viral video. That's now the subject of theories as to what is going on with Box 3, what happens to your vote if you stick it in Box 3. I interviewed the man with the first-hand account. That interview is going to go up on my Rumble tonight. I wish I could put it here on YouTube. It's not going to survive here, unfortunately. But I want to check your comments and see what you are saying here, you guys. Here, let me see if I can flip this around. So I got kicked out of the polling place. Initially, they said, the worker said, it's fine to film in here. I said, I know I'm not legally supposed to go in where the ballots are, but can I film in this hallway? He said, absolutely. Then once I started filming, he said, no, actually you can't. So, but you briefly saw there, the staffers were messing with a part of a Hart Intercivic machine. And I was like, what are these guys doing? I literally watched as poll workers carried in this opened piece of a machine. They carried it right past me right before I started my live stream, sadly. And I was like, well, what is going on with this sacred equipment that you're just carrying on in? And then they were messing mixing it with it in there. So I don't know what's going on with the Hart Intercivic equipment. It's supposed to be a little more trustworthy than the D machines. This is new equipment that we had, that we got here in Houston last year, so it's pretty new. But if you watch my last Friday interview with an election investigator here on YouTube, you'll realize that all of these, the entire infrastructure of how we do voting right now is really questionable. My volume is low. Hold on. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? I switched around my mic. All right. I want to check your comment section. Nice. America's Voice on television and Ivory on my phone. Yeah, I just thought that I would jump on here and show you guys what's happening and remind you guys, get out and vote. So it's less than 2 hours until polls close now. If you are in line while the polls close, then they'll still let you vote. You can stay in line. President Trump actually got on his Truth Social today, filmed a video saying, if you're in line, stay in line. If they're saying the machines are down, you stay in line and you wait until they fix those machines. Do not get out of line, because what they're trying to do, Trump is saying, is intimidate you into leaving. Make you flabbergasted, like you're wasting your time, because nobody wants to waste their time. We're all busy, right? You go to vote, you think it's going to take 15 minutes, and then they're having issues and you're waiting hours? Like, you don't have time to wait hours. So Trump was saying already so many voters have literally left their polling place without voting. And he's saying, please don't do that. Stay in line, because Trump feels this is the whole plan, is to have these issues so that you won't even cast your ballot. I am just checking your comments. Thanks for the comments. Ivory is a freedom beast. Yes, I love freedom. I sure do. All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm doing this in the field, seeing how it works. Okay, reading your comment. If any counting takes weeks at this point, that vote should be nullified and redone. Counting included within 24 hours. It does not take days, much less weeks, to count. Yeah, and yesterday we heard Biden's press secretary saying, be prepared for delays. She's already saying it's probably going to be delays. And it's like, Biden, stay out of this. This isn't even your election anyway. Why are you sending your press secretary to say there's going to be delays, as if you guys are participating in the count? What's going on here? Any chance for Ivory Hacker t-shirts? I'm working on some merch, guys. I know it's taking way longer than I wanted, but I'm literally a one-woman band right now, so it's hard to get everything done. Rolf says, don't trust Box 3. I don't trust these people to handle documents off-site. We've seen what they do. Yes, the issue is chain of custody. Chain of custody is a big concern. We got evidence in 2020 here in Harris County. I can only speak for, what I was covering here, but there was issues of chain of custody here, where at one point these envelopes were being put in boxes. I'm talking, your votes were being put in random, unmarked, unsealed boxes and handed to an unknown person, unidentified person, jumps in a car, supposedly taking that vote to be counted, but it's a box of votes. So there were issues with chain of custody, and that's the concern these people have now. The interview I have with a woman named Stephanie that is up on my Rumble now, she talks about how they said, there's too many glitches in Maricopa County right now, so you're just going to have to take that vote and take it down to this random box we have. So that's what she did. She inserted her vote in a secure box, and that was her vote for the day. So that's what's going on in Maricopa County. And a lot of people are wondering about chain of custody. You put it in this box. Is it going to be transferred safely to counting? How's that really going to work? But in New Jersey, officials are expecting long delays in counting because that D machine company, like I said, 600 machines down and having to do everything super manually. Looking at your comments. What up, guys? Yeah, so I've just, oh, thanks for the super chat, Chewy. Quote, the folks from San Luis Potosi and Calentanos, we don't mess with the left. I hope they take some losses tonight. Thank you. Thanks for the support, guys. Gabriel says you can interview me, Ivory. Yeah, a lot of people are really shy about interviewing when they're out there voting. A lot of people, it's especially in a blue city like Houston. We're in a red state in a very blue city. And so there's a lot of upset people voting, but they're shy about why they're upset because it's taboo in this city to be upset at a Democrat. You're supposed to love Democrats. So that's part of the issue of why some people were shy to talk to me, I think. But you step right over to the burbs and everyone is a loud and proud Republican. So Houston's just an interesting little mix of people. What are the laws for when judges okayed these shenanigans repeatedly? The issue is, you're talking about lawsuits that were filed and the judges simply dismissed the lawsuit. That's the questionable thing, is that these lawsuits were all dismissed by judges on technicalities. Countless lawsuits from 2020. Why? Thank you for the super chat. I can't even show your super chats on my stream. I don't know how to live stream remotely very well. I'm just winging this one. But thank you, America76, for donating $17.76. Shout out to the American Revolution. You know, people don't realize it was like, oh, thanks for the super chat, Savage Life Boxing. Quote, best podcast. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, so it was our founding fathers. They dealt with tyranny for like a decade, you know. When was the Boston Massacre? Like 1770? And it wasn't until 1776 that America declared its independence, but continued to fight with the British until 1782. So it was long and hard fought. And I believe it was Thomas Paine who wrote shortly after America declared independence that, look, we have tried everything to remedy this peacefully. We literally tried to avoid violence at all costs, and nothing worked. The British did not care. They could care less about us colonists. So that's when America decided to resort to their last hope for some freedom, was violence. 1776, which actually began in 1775 officially. And so things were not going well because this was a rascally little group of militias. 1776, just a little bit of militia members against the most powerful British army in the world. You know, most powerful army in the world. How are they going to beat these guys? They weren't beating them. Into 1777, they started to lose, but somehow they won over the French, who decided to support them, and the Dutch, and then they took over and they beat the British and won their freedom. But anyway, it was long and hard fought. I encourage you to read the Declaration of Independence. It explains all of the reasons that our founding fathers decided to resort to violence against the British. Sadly, it's really reminiscent of what we're going through now with government that's becoming increasingly corrupt in all aspects, including the judicial system. The American colonists were just getting trampled over, disrespected, and in some cases arrested or killed unjustly by the British Kingdom. So they decided to resort to violence and commit an insurrection against the King of England, and that is why we are now the powerful nation that we are. So American history is pretty cool. Look, the line is going out the door now. I've got to get home soon because I'm supposed to film something for Next News Network. But thank you. We have got another super chat that is also 1776. William also donated $17.76. Let freedom ring. Yeah, have you guys heard about the red moon that we're supposed to have tonight? I'm not seeing the moon out yet, but I'm not sure if the moon was supposed to show up this morning or tonight, but apparently it's the full moon and it's supposed to be red. I was invited by the spiritual community to a special yoga session to celebrate this moon, but I said I got to cover the election. Do you think this is a sign from God that there's going to be a red wave? We shall see. I have no idea if there's going to be a red wave. Like, if elections were totally fortified, I would say 100% there's going to be a red wave. But because I literally don't know how secure elections are and if anyone's vote is going to count, I just don't know how much of a red wave there's going to be, in addition to the fact that a lot of Americans are upset about Roe v. Wade, like you heard over here. The few people who did answer me said they are in line to vote because of Roe v. Wade. You know what that means? They're going to vote Democrat. So we are seeing people turn out specifically because of Roe v. Wade to vote Democrat. And then a lot of other people are going to vote based on the economy and things like that. They gave me the sample ballot. I'm going to turn it back in. With that being said, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to hurry home and film something for my buddies over at Next News Network as well. Shout out to Gary Franchi. Look at this line. Look at this line. Hey, we're covering the election today. What brings you guys out?
We came to vote.
And what's the main issue for you guys?
For what is the main issue for you? What would you say?
Oh, for what?
For, like what would you want to
Like, why do you want to make your voice heard today?
to make it, we want a better police
Better
funding,
police?
better police protection and stuff like that.
The police force is understaffed.
Oh, yes.
Violence
we
is
know.
rampant.
Yes, it is. You can't even walk at night anymore. You have to stay indoors. You can't, be out there just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite candidates? This is the sample ballot.
Democrat all the way.
Democrat.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones who've been creating
No,
the
no,
system.
no,
It's been Democrat district judges who have been letting criminals out on low bond to commit further murder.
Right. No, I lied to you. I'm not gonna vote Democrat. I knew you were gonna say something. I knew it.
I'm sure
I tricked you.
You're one of the silent majority.
I tricked you. No, we're voting.
I don't think you can be filming within the 100-foot line.
So you're
Oh, are
on the
you serious?
99,
Yeah.
girl.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he previously said, the man with the cane said I could film right here, but maybe
Yeah.
I'm mistaken on that.
Okay,
Completely
thank you.
accepted, yeah.
All right,
It's the
have a good
100-foot
one,
line.
guys.
Where's
Happy
the line?
election day. There you have it. America is rife with Republicans who say they're going to vote Democrat. What is that? Why would you pose like that? All right, before I hang up, thank you for another super chat. Cook's Box by Millennial Millie. Please check it out. You'll be glad you did. All right. Thanks for the tip and thanks for the super chat. Thanks for all the love. And you guys be sure to go vote if you haven't. Okay. And with that being said, go check my Rumble. I am going to be uploading more stuff about the shenanigans on Rumble. All right, we'll see you guys later.